Weather Warriors, come on in. Welcome to your ultimate 2019-2020 Weather Decoded Winter Forecast, part of your ultimate winter forecasting series here on Weather Decoded. I'm going to be releasing these weekly, so if I see a change in the forecast, I will update you as the weather is always changing. Now, first and foremost, you're probably wondering, what in the world is this map, and why does it look like a quilt on steroids? I'll go over that in a second here. This is our overview map. Now, everyone's going crazy with these maps this winter, so I decided to join in the party and have a little fun here. But we're also going to go over normal maps, like your precipitation outlook, your snowfall outlook, how many inches of snow you could get this winter, temperature outlook, and then also going to go over the storm track, where the jet stream could deliver big, powerful white blankets of snow, big blizzards this winter. We're going to go over that as well. Now, first and foremost, let's get into the Jackpot Zone, the Weather Decoded Jackpot Zone. Where is that going to line up this year? Well, as of early September, mid-September here, it's looking like this area, this winter, it'll line up in the northeastern United States, near and north of the Appalachian Mountains. That's looking like the worst of the winter. We'll go over into more details in a second. But first, we got a contest, a Weather Decoded contest here. How many inches of snow will Albany, New York receive between December 1st and March 1st? Enter your guess below, and we got a gift. I'm going to pick one winner, the closest winner, 12 by 18 inch signed metal print they'll get of this image I took out in Friend, Nebraska. It's a beautiful lightning image, 4 minutes of lightning. It's a metal print, shiny, looks good on the wall, nice conversation starter. So I'm going to pick one winner, and they'll receive that. It's a $200 value on my website. Comment below, the official rules are below, and subscribe. And we also have a couple bonus entries where you can get entered multiple times here later in the video, so stay tuned for those. Now, first and foremost, let's go over the pattern. So I'm going to go over the pattern, and then we'll go over the other maps in a second. So we're going to unveil this crazy map here. Now, what's going on here? Well, each of these areas represents a personality of this winter, okay? So the southwestern United States, I'm calling it the desert dome. I think it's going to be warm in this area. It's going to be dry in this area. It's going to be kind of indicative of a desert, especially in the southwestern United States. Now, mild and dry kind of in between in this yellow area, and also in the Florida Florida Peninsula. And then we got swinging temp land right here. What in the heck is that? Well, that's where the jet stream is going to kind of be lifting and sinking. It's going to be kind of in that area, and I think you're going to see lots of temperature swings. It's probably going to be average temperatures, but there's going to be a lot of swinging of those temperatures. Clipper Kingdom, this area right here in the blue, lots of clippers from Canada could track down here like a train. Could be several small snow events, cooler temperatures in that region. The Freeze Factory, this area could be receiving very much below average temperatures, probably average precipitation, but below average temperatures. This Watermelon Wet Zone, this is where you're going to see average temperatures, but probably above average precipitation and mostly rain. It's going to be mostly rain, but there could be a couple of snow events. I think the main cold air is going to be just to the north where the jet stream is. North of the jet stream. And then we got the Weather Decoded Jackpot Zone, this beautiful pinkish yellow area right here. If you're a snow lover, I think this is going to be the best area this winter, near and north of the Appalachian Mountains, just north of that jet stream. Now, this area right here, average or just above the average Joe, this question mark area, this question mark diamond here, this is the area of unpredictability. I think this is going to be a wild card area, so equal chances. This is where it could flip either way, and further forecasts will resolve that area. So that's the surprise area this winter. So we'll go over the other maps in a second. We're going to look at the general pattern this year, where the snowstorms could line up this winter. This is the current sea surface temperature anomalies. These are great for forecasting winter. Okay, this is kind of going to help you out with patterns. This area right here is where we measure El Nino, La Nina, and neutral. Typically, if these areas are red, above average sea surface temperatures, that typically indicates an El Nino. If it's below, it's a La Nina. And if it's kind of average to slightly below, it's typically a neutral. Right now, it's about a neutral to almost a borderline La Nina. But I don't think it's going to last to be in La Nina. I think it's going to kind of average out as a neutral winter, cooler and neutral winter. Up here, it's very warm. Okay, this is kind of where we measure the PDO. It's going to be very warm up here. That could cause some ridging, and also warm in the North Atlantic. So what does this mean? Probably going to get some ridging out here in the western United States. So it's going to kind of look like that. And then also some ridging out here if the negative NAO continues, which is that warm temperatures up in near Greenland, if that continues, and it has been very consistent, you could see some ridging out there, and this could cause some, it's going to shunt a trough into the central and eastern United States. Lots of polar air up here could track south into the central and eastern United States. Now, how far will that get? Probably not as far as the south as a La Nina winter, but probably going to be pretty cold up here and snowy for parts of the northern, northeastern United States, the way this looks. Now, right now, it's trending towards a La Nina, but I don't think it's going to get quite there. I think it's going to be a neutral winter, borderline La Nina, probably neutral. This is kind of the cutoff right here for La Nina and El Nino, and this in between is the neutral. But it is trending down a lot cooler as of lately. Some of these weather models and forecasting centers, a lot of them are predicting a neutral winter. This particular site has the highest odds at a neutral, about a 50%. They have a high odd for El Nino, which I don't really agree on, but that's their forecast. And then we got the neutral winter pattern here. This is kind of the pattern that what I was talking about, the jet stream with cold polar air mass coming down south from Canada. And then also subtropical jet, another jet that could bring some wild card factors here in the southeastern United States, some wet precipitation. Now, this typically isn't as strong as it was last year. Last year was an El Nino. Those are a lot stronger in El Nino winters, but it's going to be a little bit weaker, but nonetheless, there could be some instances of the subtropical jet, which could bring in some wet precipitation, and then typically warm in the southern U.S. and cold in the northern U.S. with these patterns. A negative NAO with those warm waters in the Pacific typically brings that jet to the south, which brings cold temperatures out east and snow as well, and warmer temperatures to the west. A neutral winter, this is your temperature anomalies for previous years. These are analogs, not my forecast. These are previous years with neutral winters. Typically, they are very cold in the northern United States with below average temperatures. Precipitation, there's some indication there's a little bit above average here out in the kind of the southeastern United States near Tennessee, and then below average out here in the southwestern United States and parts of Texas. That typically occurs with a neutral winter from December through February. With a positive PDO like we have, typically that occurs in the western United States where you get warmer temperatures, and then the eastern United States you get colder temperatures, kind of split 50-50. Precipitation, go back to that, is typically above average in the southeastern United States, even parts of Florida. And then also below average here in the western United States, and then potentially out here kind of in the central United States with a positive PDO. Now, these are just a couple of factors. We're going to kind of composite some of these together as well. So here, what are the models saying? Well, this is the CFS. It's saying kind of ridgy out here above average height anomalies, kind of just near and below the jet stream, the 500 millibar. And this is kind of where we're tracking our storm systems. Now, it's looking like split flow out there, which can be indicative of very dry, warm conditions out here in the southwestern United States. A little bit more troughy as we get towards the east, which can indicate slightly cooler. The CANSIPS is kind of like that as well, where you get ridgy in the west and troughy in the east. And so those are what the models are saying. Now, for that second entry of the contest, what will Albany, New York's average temperature be between December 1st and March 1st? Enter your guess below, and you'll be entered a second time. If you entered the first guess, you'll be entered a second time. So you can enter that as well. The prize is a 12 by 18-inch metal print. So let's get into the temperature forecast. What am I thinking? But first, let's see what the CPC is saying, the Climate Prediction Center. This is what they're saying from December through February. Equal chances in the northern United States with above average temperatures in the southern east half of the United States. I don't really agree with this quite that much, but this is what they're saying. And then they're also saying above average temperatures in the Alaska region. Here's the CFS model. It is a blowtorch all over the United States. I don't really agree with that either. And then the CANSIPS model has pockets of cold air in the southeastern, eastern United States and kind of warm out west. Looks a little bit better, but still not quite there. Now, what am I thinking? Well, I'm thinking that this is going to be a cooler weather pattern, cooler winter for the northeastern United States, particularly the north central, northeastern United States. Now, what does this chart mean? Well, this area right here means 2 degrees below average, 4 degrees below, 6 degrees. That's kind of on average from December through January, or December through February in these regions. So about 2 degrees below average in this light blue, 4 degrees below average in this dark blue on average. This area out here are going to be above average with 2 degrees above average. Over here, it's going to be around 4 degrees above average. And then in between, it's going to be average. Now, again, there's going to be some cities in here that report above average and some cities that report below average. This is an average for the area. So keep in mind, it's a total area for that area. So that's what I'm thinking for temperatures. Now, there's a third entry on this contest. How many days will Albany, New York receive 0.1 inches or more of snow between December 1st and March 1st? You can get entered a third time here. Comment your guess below. So we got our precipitation forecast now. So what's it looking like? Well, the CPC says above average for all of Alaska, and then the northern U.S. above average as well, especially the north central U.S. And then they got below average out here in the southwestern parts, of the U.S., particularly California. Now, they kind of looked pretty similar, at least that southwestern part, to our weather patterns. What are the models saying? Kind of spotty areas in the East Coast, southern U.S. of above average precipitation. This model is saying below average for much of the United States. Don't really agree 100% on those. So here's the precipitation outlook. I'm thinking average for most of this area. This is just for rain. We'll go over snow in a second here. This is just for rain. Kind of average for most of the central United States, northern United States, with above average out here in the east parts of the United States, particularly the mid-Atlantic region here with above average. Now, these charts here, what this means is percentages above and below. So this green here is 33% above average. So you take your average precipitation for your for your December through February period, that 3-month period, take your average precipitation and add 33% onto it. So you times it by 33% and then add it onto your average. The opposite's true out here, below average. So you subtract 33%, and then this area you subtract 66%. So the yellow, slightly below average, the orange, moderately below average. The green, slightly above average, the dark green, moderately above average precipitation. Now, how about snowfall? Now, you're probably wondering, well, it was average precipitation in the northern U.S. Why is it slightly above average here now? Well, this is factoring in the cold temperatures, so there's going to be a greater chance that you see more snow precipitation when you do get it. So that's going to change things just a little bit. So I'm thinking above average here. Now, I know some of these areas in the southern U.S. don't get snow, but, just for simplification, made it easier. I just included the whole U.S. So just wanted to clear that one up. And so we got 33% above average here. So you take your snowfall total from December through February, and you add 33%. Then out here in the northeastern United States, it could be moderately above average with the potential for a couple of blizzards to track up kind of in this zone right here and just to the north, the way it looks at the moment, with potentially 66% above average, somewhere in there. Out here, going to be a slightly below average snowfall, and then out here, much below average snowfall. Again, I know some of these areas don't get snow, but this is more for the higher elevations where you do get snow, and then average kind of in between this region right here with some question marks in this area right here of what it's going to be like. There's some mixed signals right there. So that's the snowfall outlook for the area. Now, again, subscribe because we're going to be releasing these weekly. Okay, we're going to be releasing more of these videos. Now, if you want a more detailed video of this winter, watch this video right here. I go into much more detail, and I talk about the methodology behind the winter forecast as well. So be on the lookout for that. Subscribe if you like these videos. That's this version of the winter forecast. We're going to be releasing more of these as well. So like this video if you enjoyed these forecast videos, and don't be sure not to forget to enter the forecasting contest below to potentially win this print, this metal print. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, got some more videos coming out soon, and have a good one. We'll see you soon.